What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Alkmaar 1, Tottenham 0 in the first leg of the last 16. And yeah, we do it every time. We do it every time. We come in, we get excited, saying Spurs are back. Spurs can batter this team. We're playing 6 in the Eredivisie. We've already beaten this in this season. This is all we got left to play for. We're going to put all our energy, all our efforts, all our desire into this game. And then they put out a performance like that. It's like the timeline of a Tottenham fan this season. It really is so frustrating. And today was no different. An absolute shambles of a performance. Like, what can you say? It feels like we went to the park just before the game in Alkmaar, picked 11 random players and put them on the pitch, because that's what we may as well could have done, because it looked like they'd never played with each other before on the pitch. Completely holes open in the defence, mainly in the midfield. And when they're attacking in just like singular players. Like, there's so much gaps and so much space in between every player. It's hard to get any sort of patterns of play going. Passing was just a shambles today. Couldn't make barely a 5-yard pass. RZ Alkmaar had 2 games after we last played against Manchester City. And they're the ones that looked like they had all the energy, the desire, the application. They bullied us in a lot of facets of that game. They were pressing us high up the pitch and we couldn't deal with it. We can continually trying to play it out the back and we continually just losing the ball. And up the other end, it was just a lazy press. There was literally no press whatsoever. And I'm struggling to see what the tactics were on the pitch. I'm struggling to see what the game plan was, what the idea was from the manager. And the execution from the players was nothing short of shambolic today. I mean, that own goal that we scored today, Lucas Bergvall, bless his heart, because I think he worked his socks off after that. Bless his heart, because that goal pretty much epitomized what our performance was all about today. Just absolute dross.
Yep. I think you pretty much summed it up there, Ben. It was a gutless performance. It's the biggest night of our European history going into this one. Knockout stages, a tournament that we are favourites for with the bookies, and you just go out there. And I want to put this performance into perspective for you guys. We didn't have a shot on target until the 85th minute or something like that.
I think
88th minute with Wilson Odobert.
And even that was like, he had no right to shoot from there.
Yeah, it wasn't even a shot, I don't think. It was like half a cross. It's just, honestly, it's no way near good enough, Tottenham. For me, it's not just Ange and this system that we're playing that's not working. It's also the players are not fighting for each other and showing belief in this system and in the way we play. I couldn't understand what our tactics were today. Did we come to stifle them? Did we come to bore them to death? What exactly were we trying to do? I'm looking at individual players that, for me, not good enough, not putting enough effort in. The basics in football are to show effort, fight, passion, desire. They lacked all of that. Maybe the only one that can the two that can get away with it, maybe Spence and Bergvall today. And Bergvall was the guy that, ended up slicing the ball into his own net. So a very, very, I'd say, disappointing performance from the lads out there in Holland. But they do have a chance to change all of that around by doing the business at home.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one kind of positive that I can take out of this game, that the game's not out of sight, because the game very well could have been out of sight.
It could have been easily.
Parrott with his one-on-one, the multiple chances that they were creating in the first half, This was one of the most one-sided games today.
Yeah.
It really was, and... maybe it wasn't as one-sided as that PSG-Liverpool game when they got out of jail. But, I mean, RZ deserved the victory today, and they deserved to take more than a one-goal lead to Tottenham next week. That's the reality, and that is the facts of the matter. And I'm looking at my senior players. I'm looking at a Rodrigo Bentancur, who, at moments in the game, he tried to dribble past that whole team at times. But that's what it looked like. It looked like our good moments all came from individual masterclasses instead of kind of teamwork together, which Ange kind of prides himself on and what he has prided himself on since coming to Tottenham Hotspur. It was all individuals out there, no kind of team ethos, no kind of team morals, no pressing in packs, nothing. There was nothing out there. And I'm looking at my Rodrigo Bentancur, I'm looking at players like James Maddison. When are these senior players going to step up for us in these big games? I'm looking at that Villa game when we went out in the Cup. I'm looking at the Liverpool game that we went out in the Cup. And I'm looking at this game as well. And our senior players go missing, they go hiding, and it's embarrassing. I'm sorry, it's embarrassing. You're looking at players like Lucas Bergvall, like you mentioned, Jed Spence, like you mentioned, Archie Gray as well. You know, these players, 18, 19 years old, coming in to their first year in top level football. Jed Spence played his European debut today. Archie Gray, you know, first year in the Premier League, first year in the European competition, the same as Lucas Bergvall. They show so much more than any of the senior players do in any of these big games.
They do. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Ben. It's these players do go missing. And it's not just that they're going missing on a performance level. I feel they go missing on the pitch as well. I'm looking there. I'm looking for someone to pull us out of the trenches and get us forward. Nobody. You see Maddison, he's in the middle of the park, not trying to connect the play. You see Rodrigo looking disinterested. It's just not good enough. Captain Sonny, you know, with all due respect, he's a phenomenal player as well. I'm looking at my captain, I'm saying, where's the fire in you? You need to fire these guys up. If you have to, crack a few skulls off each other and get them fighting for each other. You're in a European night. It's a huge night for the whole club. And just to go down like that, it's like going into a fight, yeah? And you're saying, yeah, I'm going to put up a good fight. I'm going to, at least if I lose, I'm going to lay a few gloves on them. You haven't even touched them. You haven't even scraped their face. Nothing. It was a gutless performance tonight. And honestly, I feel like I embarrassed myself coming on here, Ben. Predicting 4-1s and predicting wins, and I hope. No, we're no way near. And you know, we have all this talk about we're a big club, we have the best stadium in the world. It means nothing. It means nothing if you can't put out a good team against Alkmaar and put in a performance. It means nothing. All that other stuff. All it does is help some these ENIC lots out their bank accounts. That's all it helps.
That's all it helps. 100%.
That's all it helps, because we are miles off the big clubs in Europe. Miles off.
Yep. And you know, I think it tells everything when Spence was one of our best players today, right? But even him trying to play out the back in that second half, consistently losing the ball. But I don't want to lay into Jed Spence, because Jed Spence has been our best player, the one standing up for us over the last 3 months. I want to look at Destiny, who I thought was shocking today. Poor. Bentancur, poor. Maddison, embarrassing. Johnson, poor. I'm sorry to say it, but Son was poor as well. And Matisse Tell hauled off at half time, and rightly so, because he was making no impact in the game whatsoever. And the manager, let's talk about the manager, because you know everyone knows what my opinions are on the manager and what I've been debating with you guys and with Sim over the past 3 months or however long it's been. Where was the tactics today? Can someone please tell me what the tactics were on the pitch? And can someone please tell me why we're rushing injured players back when we're going to need them so desperately in this second period of the season? Dom Solanke clearly wasn't ready. You know, he was strapped up. His leg was strapped up when he came on, and he's reoccurred an injury, and it looks like it's a bad one, and God knows how long he's going to be out for. And don't tell me that this is coincidence that this keeps happening. Don't tell me that this is just a freak incident that this keeps happening. It's happened with Odebear. It's happened with Van der Ven. It's happened with Romero. It's happened with Richarlison. And now it's happened with Dom Solanke. That's 5 players, and there's probably a player or two I'm missing as well. Yep. So do not tell me that this is a coincidence and a freak incident, because this keeps happening over and over and over and over again. It's a joke, man. And I told you Kulusevski was an injury waiting to happen, and now he's out injured until after the international break, and he's not even going to be able to help us for the second leg. So, I mean, I don't know what excuses people can come up with this manager anymore. I really don't.
No, it's it's very hard to come up with excuses. You know, we had players coming back today. We've had the rest. There's nowhere he can go. There's nowhere he can go. I think the players let him down as well today, but I do think again the buck stops at the manager. He's the one that has to get them up for the games, get them fighting, and yeah, I didn't see any of that, and I didn't see any complicity, any cohesiveness on the pitch, any link-up play, nothing. There was really just nothing in that performance.
Can anyone tell me what was the plan in the game? Was there any plan?
Boredom to death, maybe?
Like from a tactical point of view, I just couldn't see anything of what the team was trying to do. Like, how can you not lay a glove? I'm not disrespecting AZ Alkmaar. They're a good team in their own right. Don't get me wrong. They gave us a very good game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium earlier on. But we had a much changed side that day. What excuses are there today? There's no fatigue excuses today. They should be more fatigued than us. You know, We've had 8 days rest since that Man City game. There's no more excuses left.
No, it's not good enough. And look, as much as we are all doom and gloom here, I think we were lucky to come away with a 1-0 loss. That chance that Parrott had, when he's through on goal, just Big Vic, all he has to do is slide it left or right, and Big Vic somehow manages that and get something on it. I hope that's a saving grace for us and something that we can be positive about, because it really could have been 2 or 3.
Yeah. But it's like, you know that this is the last competition. This is the be-all and end-all in us. This is it. Do or die in this competition, and that's it. Our season is hanging by... I mean, it was hanging by a thread before, but that's it. We got 90 minutes next week to save our season at home to Alkmaar, and it's an achievable task. If we play like that, it's not. But it's an achievable task because we are only 1-0 down.
Yeah.
But it could have been a lot more today. That's the reality. So, I mean, what else can we say? I mean, it's just embarrassing what we have to sit through week in, week out following this football club.
Do you know what, though, as well, Ben? Maybe us as fans, maybe we misread where we are as well. We think we're ahead of where we are. I think we're so far behind of where people think we should be or where we want to be. I think we're miles off. We're so far off. I think even 2-3 years ago, we were far off and we still had gain then. This is the same, but worse, because you're without your world-class elite striker.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing how much of a problem that is, because you've got Solanke getting injured every game now. You're seeing how hard it is to find a man up top. You're brought in Tell to come in, he can't lead the line. You're relying on kids like Scarlett to come in and maybe do something. It's maybe we're overrating where we are, I think. We're miles away from challenging for the top competitions across football.
Exactly. And you know what? I lost my passport and I couldn't be out there in Alkmaar today. And thank bloody God I did lose my passport, because I'll be going fucking mad out there in Alkmaar. And I'm so happy I wasn't there today, because seriously, I can go home. I can sleep in my own bed tonight. Yeah. I could be with my wife and my child, and I can... I'm just happy I lost my passport. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you.
Passport gods.
Thank you to the passport gods for leaving my passport somewhere that I couldn't find it, and I'm not in Alkmaar tonight. But that is your instant match reaction. Spurs have embarrassed themselves once again in a 1-0 defeat out in Alkmaar. But look, the reality is the tie isn't over. There's still another half of this game to be played, 90 minutes. And it is overturnable. We can overturn this 1-0 deficit.
It can be done.
Exactly, it can be done. We just need to dust ourselves down and go again. We got a game on the weekend against Bournemouth, which is going to be incredibly difficult. And we need to save our best 11, which whoever that may be, for next week on Thursday.
The way they're going, I'd just put my academy kids out against Bournemouth.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. It's time for you guys to have your say. I'm looking forward to hearing all you guys. The link will be in the community section. And yeah, come and have your say, guys. We have got a couple of members chats and super chats. First up from Mr. Brian Daigle, member for
Big up,
52 months. He says, Enoch, Levy, Cullen, Munn, Lange, and get out of our beloved club. I don't recognise anymore. Nothing changes until everything changes. Look, I do agree with Brian's sentiment there. I do, wholeheartedly. But with that 90 minutes of football, with the players that we had on the pitch, I can't put anything down to the owners on that specific 90 minutes of football.
No, not on that specific 90 minutes of football. But here's where he's right.
No, he is. I'm not saying he's not right. He is right.
Yeah, this is the thing. Because when you look at everything that's gone wrong with this club and everything stems and the culture, even down to the medical staff and these mistakes that we seem to be making, this all stems from a bad workplace environment, a bad culture. Everyone's been there when you've been at a job and it's just toxic, it's not great, and people can't wait to move on to their next job and their next challenge. I think that's how a lot of footballers see Tottenham. Oh, I come here, I'll pick up my paycheck for a few years, and then when I get my next job, I'll go off and win trophies. And no wonder we've seen players that have been with us for years go off and be successful at other clubs. So I think there needs to be wholesale changes at Tottenham Hotspur. And I think it starts right at the top. It's not just these players and these performances, because we've seen these performances under many a manager, Ben.
Yeah, very true, very true. Ollie Sherman says, with the super chat, saying, this was more about Spurs not showing up rather than RZ being good. Tell was poor, but anyone thinking Parrott is good just needs to relax. I mean, I don't walk away from that game thinking Parrott is... the answer. We made a mistake getting rid of him or anything like that. Yeah, I agree with that. It was more about Spurs just putting in a no-show pretty much and RZ actually being good.
Yeah.
100%. Big Country Chris says, joke of a manager, joke club, useless. Lewis Page says, do you guys think we should just play Dane now? You know what? You know what? I wouldn't be against it, because at least Dane comes on and he puts himself about and he's up for the physical challenge. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'll put him in there. I'll put Dane in there. He's done well.
Yeah.
Came on, scored a goal. I've seen enough from Dane to make me think that he will be the solution while Solanke's getting fit. And who knows when he'll be fit now, Could be the end of the season.
ODKK says, Solanke was holding his hip on the opposite leg of his knee that was wrapped up. Enough of this narrative that players are being rushed back. Look, whether Solanke reoccurred an injury that he had before is by the by, in my opinion, because first of all, he was strapped up, so that suggests that maybe he was rushed back a little bit and he's not 100% fully fit. But you cannot tell me that this is some sort of false narrative that we've rushed players back when it's happened with multiple players.
Again and again.
4 or 5 players that I've mentioned earlier that it's all happened with. So
they have been muscle injuries. They have been muscle injuries.
Raging Bandit says, for RZ, it the game of their lives. For us, not so much. And Lewis Page says, what will Sim's excuses be for Ange now? Sim's cooking up those excuses as we speak.
Right, as we speak. He's getting them ready, frying them up in Alkmaar.
All right, let's go on to you guys.
Who have we got?
We got Blockbuster Daigle. How you doing, Daigle? I mean, a stupid question, mate. Just talk to me.
Well, first of all, good evening to you guys. Good evening to everyone in the chat. I think it's time that us collectively as Spurs fans have a reality check. We need to step back and go, do you know what? All these, when the players are back, things will be different. These players are this good. They can do this. They can do that. They're 6th in the Dutch league. We can do it. We can beat them. Like I said when I came on against Leicester. And everyone was going on about Leicester's injuries and how poor they are, and we can beat a Leicester. Well, we couldn't. And then we said, yeah, all our players are injured. The players aren't good enough. Those players that have let this team down, that have let us down all season, have got this cup to play for to salvage anything. And they went out there like they were doing us a favour.
Yeah.
They went out there. There was no professional pride. There was no desire. There was no hunger. There was no
Zero.
determination. That looked like they were having an exhibition game in pre-season, and we could just stroll around the park because we're the mighty Tottenham Hotspur, one of England's biggest clubs. Just because of our name, we should go through. That was as poor as Tamworth.
But
And people are saying
it's not even
Sorry, go on,
Tamworth, Brian. It's the same kind of attitude and application that I saw in what was supposedly our biggest game at the time in Aston Villa, what was supposedly our biggest game at the time in Liverpool. When the big games come up, these players go hiding every single time.
As I said to you after the Bournemouth game, when the going gets tough, the weak go hiding.
Yeah.
There's no people with a strong will and mentality to say this is unacceptable. There is no... I don't think there's any game plan. I don't think the players have a clue what they're meant to be doing. That front line were absolutely clueless. I mean, if someone had said to us a few years ago, your front line will be Brennan Johnson, Matthias Tell, who I'm actually thinking of making a that Where's Wally game, or Where's Waldo as it's called over here, and calling it Where's Matthias, because again he was missing. And like I said when I came on, we're not getting the service to him, but I can't remember him doing anything. Heung-min Son is just off the ball. And one thing that's starting to annoy me with Heung-min Son is we see him take all these brilliant free kicks for South Korea, and how deadly he is when he does that. He's the captain of our football club, and whenever we get a free kick in a dangerous position, he's standing over it, and then a Madison or someone will go, no, I got it. And he's just like, yeah, okay then.
Yeah, I said that to Amir on the watch along.
He's devastating at free kicks for Korea. And I mean, if anything is to sum up the Spurs season, what in God's name was that free kick routine all about?
Oh my God.
Let's not even get into that.
Summed up the game. That
Mate,
literally
that's like,
summed up the game.
Do you remember the Solanke? I think it was it Solanke and Bentancur that got in each other's way, or was it whoever it was in a game at home recently? I can't remember, but some Bentancur ran into a player. I can't remember who it was. I think Solanke may have been injured by then. But listen, Ange has got to go. Has got to. That was our 18th defeat of the season.
Would you sack him before the second leg?
Do you know what I think? I don't know why, but I thought this afterwards. I think he's going to be there for the second leg. But remember, there's an international break afterwards.
Yeah.
If we don't get a result against Bournemouth, if we don't get through to the next round, if we don't get a result against Fulham, does he have any leg to stand on in that international break? He won't.
Well, the second leg's before that.
That's what I'm saying.
International break. Yeah.
So I think,
I mean, regardless of those league games, if he loses to Alkmaar, if we don't go through in this last 16, surely that's that. He's surely.
I just don't understand where this blind faith in him is now. Yes, we want to see a project that comes up, and we wanted to see a project through. I wanted to see a project through. But any other Big Six team that are in this position that we're in right now, that have strong desires to be in the top six or in the top four, they're gone. They are literally gone because this is unacceptable to them. But do you know what? As much as we can blame, like when you were reading out my members' chat, I wasn't blaming Levy for this performance. Like I said, once they cross the white line, it's got nothing to do with Levy. The fact that they're still on the pitch and wearing our shirt has everything to do with him. But these players need to take a long, hard look at themselves and be in that changing room now going, what the hell was that? And has a big, huge responsibility. But these players, that is one of the most woeful performances I've seen. And remember, we have had 8 days rest. Yeah. And AZ Alkmaar have played 2 games since we played Manchester City.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, the excuses for the last few months have been injuries, fatigue, all that kind of narrative.
Yep.
The players are coming back. Yes, I know Solanke and Van der Ven and Romero didn't start today. but the players on the pitch were more than good enough to win a game of this caliber. Will definitely put up more of a fight than they did. So what are the excuses going to be? I just don't get it.
Well, you know what will happen. One player will roll out and say, we're sorry, we come back stronger, we must improve, we learn, we grow. One of those classic from the catalogue of excuses will come out from the players. How I question their professional pride. I question their fight for the badge. I question, like I've said before, in the 90s when we were really poor, but we were expected to be poor. The one thing I could always say is those players put in a shift.
Yeah.
Those players may not have been good enough to get the job done, but from 1 to 11, they put in a fight. They had pride for the badge, and you couldn't get away from that. I'm struggling to find one player, apart from Vicario, that I could talk about in a positive light.
Go on.
No, Daigle, I want to take it back to something you said. You know, we aim to be a top 6 club. I don't think we're anywhere near.
We're miles off it, mate.
We're miles off being a top 6 club. We're miles off challenging for the top trophies in world football. We're so far off it. And sometimes I think, you know what, maybe I'm even guilty of this myself, Daigle. Maybe I am overrating these bunch of players. Maybe they're just as useless as that performance has shown us.
Well, Joe, I'll say something here. As we've all said, maybe with a better manager or a manager that plays a different brand of football or has a different approach to coaching or his man management skills, maybe they can get a tune out of these players. But once again, the recruitment at this football club leaves everything to be desired. Like, literally leaves everything to be desired because they don't fit the system. They're not doing the job. And you look at it, when we were bringing Matthias Tell in, and before everyone was saying it was a coup, it was, oh my God, we got one of the highest prospects in Europe. We needed a striker that could score goals. We needed a powerhouse that could hold the ball up or find someone that could run onto one-on-ones. We don't supply him. We don't know what he can do. He can't get involved in the game. We needed someone to come in and plug the gap from the goals that Richarlison would get or could bring as a striker. Solanke could bring as a striker. We don't do that. We just got him because he was available on loan. And obviously, if we do pull the trigger on it, we don't have to spend any money. We could just use the Harry Kane deficit. So we're not putting our hands in our pockets. There is just no planning. There is absolutely no planning for this football club, for this team, no matter who the manager is. Go back as far as you want to play the football that the current manager wants. And I'll give you the perfect... You just need to look at our fullbacks that we've signed in recent history. We sign them for managers that play wing backs. Then we get rid of him and play him at fullback. Then we sack the fullback manager and put him back at wing back. There is no planning. There is no desire to achieve success. The culture of this football club is non-existent apart from just business. There is no accountability. Performances like this, they should be held accountable. Public apologies, and just be saying this is just totally. There's nothing. We'll be like, go on, we'll get home, have a day's rest, we'll go again Sunday, and people going, yeah, the tie's in our hands. This is a team that has lost to Leicester at home, that has lost to Ipswich at home, that has struggled in Europe at home, may have got the wins, but the performances haven't been great. And people keep saying, we've got our players back, things will be different. We have to take a long, hard look at ourselves and truly evaluate it without your Ange hat on, without your Levy hat on, whether you're in or out on either camp, and have a look at where we are as a football club, because we are nowhere near as good as we think we are. Nowhere near. We're night and day.
I guess, Brian, the only positive to take from it that it wasn't more than 1-0, because it very well could have been, and the tie could have been almost unattainable in the second leg, and at least we do bring them back to Tottenham with only a 1-0 one-goal deficit when it could have been a lot more.
Yeah, but if I heard right on the commentary as well, AZ Alkmaar now have got like we had. They've got a week off.
Yeah.
Is it a week till we play them, or is it 2 weeks till we play them? Is it next week?
1 week, yeah.
So we've obviously got a home tie against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
They've got
no
now a
game
week
this
off
weekend.
to relax and rest and recuperate. So yeah, you're right. It's 1-0. Anything can happen. But let's just hope Solanke's injury isn't a big one. Let's just say
Didn't look good.
Yeah, I know it didn't look good, but all I will say that is thank God Van der Ven or Romero didn't come on because God knows what shape they're in.
Yeah.
It's just another. I've gone past. Look, there's a few games I've come on where I've been really angry and shouting and screaming and ranting and raving. I'm past that. I'm past the anger and frustration. I'm beyond the comedic. I'm beyond. This is what we have become. These performances are becoming the norm, unfortunately. And you have people going, "Oh yeah, but we only lost by the 1 goal. It done it again, and only loses by 1 goal. I don't care. It's still a loss.
Straight out the sim playbook, that one.
Hey, no. Yeah, but we only lost by 1 goal. I'm sorry. Do you get half a point for that? Is that what we're doing now? We only lost by 1 goal, so that's a good thing.
I have never, ever, ever, ever heard that as an excuse used as a positive before.
Oh, I know, but only
Before
at Spurs,
this season.
Only at Spurs. Yeah, only at Spurs. Only at Spurs. And obviously now with all our players back, the excuse of injuries has gone. And let's face it, that first 11 should be strong enough to get a job done, or at least put in a decent performance.
Yeah.
And I will say for anyone, the goal that we conceded was a freak goal. Lucas Bergvall was a bit shaken before it, but do you know what I liked about Lucas Bergvall? He didn't shy away from it. He didn't let it go, oh my God, I've made a mistake. I'm going to crawl into a shell now and go missing. He owned it. He tried to get involved, sprayed the ball about a couple of lovely times, tried a bit too hard, but he did not hide away.
If anything, he was trying a bit too hard, wasn't he?
Yeah, maybe in a couple of instances, but the thing I loved about him is he did not let it affect him. He made sure he tried to put in a shift and he didn't hide away. But these kind of performances, unfortunately, have become the norm for Tottenham Hotspur. And unfortunately, we have become a fan base as a whole that will use this. I was only by 1 goal. We've got to look at it. We all love this football club in different ways, but I'm talking purely about the football club and 90 minutes of football. And I don't recognise my Tottenham anymore. I don't recognise what is happening on the pitch, apart from the decline, is happening more and more and more. And you look at this, the great game-changing stadium, by the looks of it, that was meant to get us to the promised land and get us Champions League and bring the Champions League elect players, and pay the Champions League elect wages. Well, by the looks of it, 2 out of the last 3 seasons will be without European football.
Yeah, it's going that way for sure. It is going that way. But Daigle, always a pleasure to have you on.
Always a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you now in 4 weeks. And I cannot wait to be at the Levy Out Change for Tottenham protest on April the 6th with you all. I cannot wait. And I will see all you guys soon. Have a great evening, guys.
Take care, Daigle.
See you later, peeps.
Take care.
That was Brian Daigle, everyone. We have another super chat from Rich saying, I don't know what to say other than we're shockingly bad. 0 effort from 90% of the team. I can't see Ange finishing the year. And Scorpion fan for life, member for 46 months. Big up to you, Scorpion. Says, what are we doing? We did nothing today. No attack. All right, let's move on and let's go on to our next guest, Mr. George Orton. How you doing, my friend?
I
don't even know why I asked, George.
Enough said.
I don't know why I asked.
George.
But talk to me. What went wrong today, man?
Everything? Can you tell me one thing that went right?
The coin toss, did we win that?
No, we lost that as well.
There you go.
One thing that went right. Nah, I can't, to be honest. It was a shambolic display from start to finish. It really was. And what do you put that down to? Was it down to tactics? Was it down to player application? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
As you guys know, I have been very pro-Ange. I'm losing that slowly and surely.
Sim won't like to lose another one in his camp.
Yeah, I'll never actively say manager out unless they've like come out and slagged the club off. Mind you, when Conte did it, I kind of like that. Yeah, I can't defend him other than saying I liked all of the substitutions apart from the fact that he didn't bring the Lolo off. That was it. I don't know if you read in the comment section, probably not because I didn't do it as a super chat, but I did bring up how, has anyone noticed how we always play like this, lackluster, shit, and just so negative, defensive, backwards whenever Lolo's playing?
It's a good point, to be fair, because, you know, you always expect, I mean, there are certain times where he tries to push the agenda and he tries to drive the team forward. But that is why I keep calling for a top 6 to come into this club, because we lose too much of that protection for the defence when he's there just by himself as the lone 6. That's not his position. That's not what he should be doing. And I think he's a good player, Bentancur, don't get me wrong, but he's just playing completely in the wrong role for the team, in my opinion.
100%. When I was a kid playing in Sunday League, we were a very, very attacking team. And the second that anyone played the way that he plays, as the team, we would just like tell them off, make sure they never did it again, and show them how to do it properly. Maybe rest them for a couple of weeks. He's shown how good of a player he is. But for me, he's only shown his true potential when we were under Conte. So I think, and I don't like picking out players, but to be completely fair and full transparency, Maddison is my favourite player within the club. I don't think he's the best player within the club, but he's my favourite. And I think when him and Lolo play together, we're shit. We're too negative. We don't utilise the out balls properly. We're too static. My biggest bugbear for today was the fact that we only started to show like we wanted to play and win in the 88th minute. And even the commentators mentioned that. And even then, when they said it, I looked at it and I was like, well, Lolo's on the ball. Which attackers are actually moving into a space for him? No one. They were all static. Yeah, some of that could be down to the age, not having obviously Sonny on the pitch and stuff. But he's near the end of his career now. I don't think he's done, but he's getting older. He's getting towards that age where we are going to have to start. He can't even finish full matches anymore. That's the levels that we're at. But I think, echoing what Daigle said, it all does come down to the absolute top, because yes, it's good investing in young players, and I like the idea of having a 5-year plan. But when it's a 5-year plan, you change that 5-year plan every year when you change a manager, every 2 years when you change a manager. You're never going to achieve the end goal. Yeah. And that, for me, that's the biggest problem here. Not the manager, not the players necessarily, not the recruitment. I think it's all three. I think the manager out of all of them is the least to do with that, because I think if we hold on to Ange and we actually do grow these youngsters that he's got, yes, this year it's basically done. Next year, thank you. Next year, I think will be a very similar situation if we don't invest properly. But I think if we go and revert to a new manager or try bring someone in new, even interim to the end of the season, recover the season, it's just going to be the same shit next year.
Yeah, look, it is hard to disagree with that, and I do agree wholeheartedly with your point on the ownership. Like, I think if you've been watching me for long enough, you know what my views are of Enoch and Daniel Levy.
100%.
But the reality is that today, if you take this game in isolation, you look at the two teams that went up against each other today, man for man, player for player, we had a much better team than RZ Alkmaar. No disrespect to RZ Alkmaar. So I genuinely don't believe today had anything to do with Daniel Levy. Like, today we should be doing a lot better. The players need to be showing better, application on the pitch, and the manager needs to be sorting it out a lot quicker. Like when he sees it's not going right, like at half time, yeah, fair enough, he brought on Wilson Odobert for Telt. But I feel like 2 or 3 players could have been hooked off at half time, and tactically he could have done a lot more to swing the momentum in our favour again.
Yeah. For me, the substitutions weren't made early enough.
Yeah.
I think that there should have been more even before halftime. I don't like this, just the political correctness of football in this day and age, where subbing anyone before halftime if they're not injured is a big no-no. I don't like that. Sorry, dinner's ready right at the wrong time. But yeah, I don't see a way out of it other than just get through these hard times. But I said that last year. I said that the year before. I said that the year before that. I'm lost. I really am. And I'm not a football fan. I don't enjoy watching football matches. I only enjoy Spurs. I'm a Spurs fan. Couldn't give a fuck about what any other club does. The fact that Spurs are in this position, they're my only outlet of like having a switch off from life. And even they bring this much misery and depression. Should be used to it by now, being Spurs. But yeah, I don't see any positives from today.
Yeah, we're addicted to the pain, George. That's what we are.
It's only 1-0. It's only 1-0, George. That's the positive.
There you go. There's your one positive.
Yeah. And I guess that is a positive because it could have been a lot worse today. And we deserved it to be a lot worse for us today with Alkmaar completely playing us off the park. And, taking them back with only a 1-goal deficit, there is still a chance for us, isn't there?
Yeah, there's definitely still a chance, especially with the second leg being at home. I think that's where we have got lucky. Is that luck that we got the home leg, the second leg? Was that like luck of the draw, or was it always going to be that way? I haven't actually followed that side of.
I think because we finished in the top 8, I believe that we got the home leg second. I believe.
Okay, so if that is the case, then that's good. But I think that's probably the best part of the situation we're in now. Because if we were 1-0 down after a home leg going away, I don't see us turning it around.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's probably 70-30 that we do. But there's still too high of a chance that we don't go through against a club like Alkmaar. And again, not being detrimental to them, it's more of a reflection on us as a club.
Yeah. The other problem is that Alkmaar, from here on in the tournament's probably the easiest team that we're going to face. You've got Ajax or Lazio or Frankfurt in the next round if we do get through. And if we put in performances like that away from home against any of these clubs, I mean, we'll lose by, a lot heavier margins than we did today.
Yeah, literally. I haven't even got any words to respond to that. Such a loss. I don't drink alcohol, and the missus, even she doesn't follow football, and she understands how horrible today's been.
Cheers to you. Cheers, George. I'll let you go off and enjoy your dinner, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Bon appetit, mate. Bon appetit.
Have a great rest of the week, guys.
Cheers, you too, mate. Come on, you Spurs. Dude. Big I love that tattoo. Thank you, mate.
This is what Spurs does to you, mate. He's trying to get away from life by watching Spurs. It's even worse, Ben. It's even worse. If you want to escape, just there's nice open parks here in London. You can go for a walk in the park.
Nice weather today as well.
Exactly, beautiful weather. But unfortunately, no game for us is a walk in the park, is it? Never. Not even Tamworth.
Not even, bloody hell, yeah. Rich with another super chat says, I've been Jin, but he's just blamed the playing surface for today's result. What in the actual fuck?
Has he?
Blame the playing surface.
Lad, that's like Arteta blaming the ball, mate. If he's clutching at them straws, the playing surface is the same for everybody, Ange. I don't know if does he?
I hate it when managers come out and say that kind of shit.
Mate, it's infuriating. The thing is, the injuries I can get down with, right? The 2 months, what we've gone through, I was with him. But when you start making up excuses about playing surfaces and bubbles and this and that, I think the time is nigh, really, for his future.
Let's see what this comment from Ange says. He says, why weren't the players up for it? And he says, look, it's a combination of things. We'll analyse it and have to look at the areas we struggled with. But it's fair to say, yeah, it was nowhere near the level that it needed to be. No shit, Ange. And he said, I don't think it's a matter of effort or attitude. I don't think it's going out there and not trying. Like I said, we didn't really come to grips and have the right mindset to tackle an away fixture in Europe. It's always tough, and we obviously conceded the goal, which was a disappointing set of events. But after that, we didn't really settle down into a game at all. You are going to face some pressure when you play away from home in Europe and weather the storm and get to grips with it. But we never really did, so that was a disappointment. I mean, I'm sorry, man, but this guy has over a week to prepare for this game. Over a week to analyse, to overanalyse, to set your team up in the right manner to go out and put in a performance. Never mind win the game, just put in a performance, right? And he's coming out with all this after the game. It's like he's acting like we didn't have over 8 days to prepare for this game. RZ didn't have 8 days to prepare for this game. They had a couple of days.
Ben, can I tell you what it sounds like to me? When he's saying all this, I think he's saying the opposite of what's true. Because if you look at it, when he's saying, I don't think it's the attitude, I think it is their attitude. I think 100% it is their attitude. Because those players did not give. You cannot tell me that man for man, those players gave 120% today. They didn't. Yeah. They didn't. Maybe 2 or 3 of them gave their all. The rest of them were hiding from the ball, hiding from each other. And just overall, I feel like we've got too many mercenaries at this club, Ben.
Too many passengers,
Too many passengers. They just want to come here for a season, 2, 3, 4, pick up your check, stack that cash, and go on to your next tropical move, wherever that may be, somewhere nice.
Yeah.
I don't think they're here to play for the badge. I don't think they're here to play for the fans. And I don't know how we change that. I think that's what Daigle was getting at earlier with that super chat, because to change a whole culture, it doesn't take 1 or 2 years or a quick manager bounce 3 years. That's like a decade of work that needs to be put into this club. You know?
I do know. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I can't really add more to that. I think you're spot on, to be honest. It is going to take a long time. It's time that we don't have. Because other teams are just growing and growing.
But the best time to start was yesterday. If you want to instill a winning culture,
the best time was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
my friend. Yeah.
Yes. But again, if we haven't started it yet, we need to start implementing a winning culture at this club. And going away to Alkmaar and just going down the way we did there, that is the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Completely the opposite.
Another super chat here from Isaac Newton Jr.
What's Isaac? Oh, Isaac Newton. Oh, mate, what's he got to say?
He says, hello from Indonesia.
Big up.
Brennan produced nothing. Bentancur lazy. And as always, Son and Madders failed to show leadership. Complete failure today.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong from the beautiful lands of Indonesia. He's spot on.
Yeah. And look who we have next up on who's the next cab off the ranks, as Ange likes to put it. I don't think he's going to come out with any deluded takes today. He goes by the name of Danny Kiriakou. What are you saying, Danny?
I'm right. How are you boys?
You know how it is, Danny. After a shit show that is Tottenham Hotspur once again, we have to go through the motions. Not too dissimilar to the games against Aston Villa, Liverpool. But this was literally last chance saloon for Tottenham. Haven't thrown it away just yet, but it was terrible tonight, wasn't it?
It was. I think that was one of the worst performances I've seen in 2 years at Spurs. I mean, the fact that this is what his kind of tenure is in a way relying on, right? Is this tie. And the fact that after just seeing some of the things I saw today, and then his comments, and then you boys must have seen it, right? When they about 73rd minute, they did a shot of Maddison and Son on the bench, and you can see what Maddison's saying. Like you can see what his lips.
What did he say?
So basically, I recorded it and I've sent it to you in the group chat, right? So you can have a look. But someone on Twitter basically posted and said something like, he said it's always this. Madison said something like it's always the same play, right? And then when you watch the video, you'll see just at the end of the clip, you can see Maddison saying it's always the same play. Like you can see it from his lips. And that to me is showing that the players are now completely frustrated with his absolute diabolical tactics and just in his lack of ability to change up a game. He's just so fixated on this one-dimensional way of playing that doesn't work, doesn't suit the players that we actually have, right? The system he plays doesn't suit the players we have. He brings in these players to play a particular system, yet he's playing a complete different system that doesn't work with the players that we have. So that makes no sense whatsoever, right? He then waits till the 70th minute to bring on some players, and Dominic Solanke doesn't even make 20 minutes and gets injured again. I mean, you can't write how bad this is. It's so terrible, man. Like it's unbelievable. And do you know what the worst thing is? Him at the end blaming the pitch and saying, "Oh, there's problems we have to look at." No, mate. The problem is you. You're the problem, mate. Like, just get out of this club. Like, he needs to be sacked straight away, man. I don't care what happens after this tie. He should be sacked. And if he stays next season, right? I'm Sim out, I'm Tottenham out, I'm everything out. Everything out. Like, there's no chance I'm following it because I cannot watch another season with this manager and making all these excuses under the sun. It's just constant excuses. It's like the guy's digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper into the hole that he's put himself in, right? And it's just every single time he's got questionable decisions. He's always doing the wrong thing. He's waiting too late to make substitutions. He then blames everything else other than himself, right? And doesn't, again, blame his tactics. And he said that the players had an effort. What I saw out there were players walking around as if there was nothing to play for, right?
Danny, that was... I'm with you, though, Danny. That was the worst performance I've seen from Spurs in so long. And that's what I was saying to Ben. It's like what he said. You know when someone's telling you something, but everything they say is the opposite. That's what I feel he's saying. They showed effort. They were good attitude. No, Ange. That's the opposite of what we all saw.
Yeah. And I don't understand. If he genuinely believes that, what is that telling the players, right? This is how I look at it from an outside point of view. If he's sitting there telling the whole nation and every country saying that they actually put an effort in, right? When every other fan on the planet from every other club can see that there was literally no effort whatsoever, and he's telling them that, then they're just going to keep playing at that level, right? Which is nowhere near good enough, and it's not even. I see more effort from Sunday League footballers. I see more effort from youth footballers. I see way more effort from youth footballers than I do with these professional players. And honestly, it's getting beyond stupid now. And the fact that this keeps going on, and I just cannot see how this guy is going to stay in a job at the end of the season, because the more you just see how bad he really is, right? He's so out of his depth. And you know, I was quite on the fence with Ange up until the Ipswich game, right? When do you remember when I said to you, Ben? I was like, if Spence does not play in the next game against Man City after being our best player for the last couple of months, then there's an actual something's going on in that club, right? And he's got some kind of issues with players or whatever it is. And what did he? And I said he wouldn't play him. And what did he do? He benches Spence against Man City, right? And then saying that he needs to have a rest. No, he doesn't. Porro needs the rest, not bloody Spence. And then honestly, the more I see him and the more I hear these absolute nonsense excuses, the more that I get annoyed by him. And like it's just like you just want to bloody punch him in the face, like saying, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, are you delusional?" Like he's deluded. He is deluded. Honestly, he's deluded. Like
Danny, you're looking at the players on the pitch today, and it looks as though that Ange literally just went into the closest coffee shop in Amsterdam that he could find, pick out 11 players, 11 people, taking them out of the coffee shops, putting them on the pitch, because that's how they played. They played like they've been smoking all day, and they played like none of them knew each other. I mean, and on top of that, right? Go on.
Yeah, go on.
No, I said on top of that, right? We had 8 days rest before this game.
Yes,
Ours at Alkmaar
yes.
played 2 games in
Yeah.
the space of that time. A cup semi-final, which they had to go to penalties, extra time and penalties, plus a game on the weekend. And what are the excuses now? Because after the last 3 months, everyone's saying, oh, fatigue. Well, fatigue had nothing to do with today, did
No,
it?
nothing. The fact that Ange's sitting there blaming the pitch, right, and saying that the players gave their energy or tried to put a performance in, right? That is just, I honestly, he's got to be smoking something in Amsterdam or in Alkmaar, right? He's got to be smoking something because there is no. Maybe he had some magic mushrooms. Maybe you don't know.
If he thinks that's good effort and attitude, maybe, Danny.
I think that's why he was just sitting there with his hands like in his pocket, like kind of just zoning out and just not really knowing what's going on with his life. You know what I mean? He's just sitting there like he's on another planet, and it definitely seems like he's on another planet. So if it's not that, then he's obviously got some serious problems. But do you know what's annoying is that with him, he just doesn't look like he wants to change anything at all. Anything. He doesn't want to change his tactics. Doesn't want to change anything. And yeah, I'm just so done with this manager now. Like it's so inconsistent. And like even heard Glenn Hoddle on the commentary was saying like the players look like they're not even there today. Like he just said that. I think he said something like it looked like they're walking or something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was on that kind of basis of like it looks like they're just standing around walking and they weren't really doing much. There was no effort. Like they didn't want to be there basically. They looked like they didn't want to be there. And you're playing in the only competition, the only thing left that you can salvage your season with, and you're giving a performance like that. There's no gut, there's no grit, there's no aggression, there's no determination, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. And I cannot understand how you can put on a Tottenham Hotspur t-shirt, right, walk out onto that pitch and play like that. Like, honestly, I do not understand it. And this, to me, again, is a massive cultural problem at this club. I'm not going to get into that now anyway. But tonight, Angie's feeding into that culture. It's like, it's who we are, mate. It's who we are. We can go to a club in a European competition and not even try. Like, what the hell is this? Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. Everything about this club is beyond laughable, and we should. If Daniel Levy wants some marketing done or some more money, he should create a circus and call it Tottenham Hotspur or Cirque du Spurs or something like this, right? And then he can just literally put the players in there, put Ange in there, and we'll have a lovely, entertaining show, right? And we can all have a good laugh about Tottenham.
But it can't be called Tottenham though. Only Tottenham Hotspur or Spurs.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that, right?
As long as we can bring back Aurelio Gomez to be the ringmaster.
We'll bring all the funny players back. Let's get them all back. Jason Dezelle. Let's get Naybet. Let's get them all in. Let's just get them all in. It's just
Timothy Atuba.
Timothy.
Come on, Atuba.
We'll get Mr. Pornstar Asu Kotu as well. We'll get him in. We're just. Honestly, this club is just absolute. It's comical. It really is comical. And I did want to give Ange the benefit of the doubt. And I wasn't Ange in or Ange out before. But after the last couple of weeks, it's like, how can you sit there and even say that this guy should be our manager? Like, honestly, how can you really sit there and say that? That's why, for me, if Sim is still backing this guy, I am Sim out. Sim out. Get him out the club.
Get him out of the club.
Oh, big up to you, Daddy. Big up to
big
you.
up, boys.
And anyway, Daddy, I'll see you Sunday.
Bournemouth
man. At home, mate. Looking forward
Let's
to
do
it.
I'm looking forward to it too, man. Take it easy. Nice to see you, man.
Take it easy, Daddy, mate.
Big up to Daddy Kiriakou. We did have Mr. Box Office in the background, but it looked like he's bottled it. Oh no, he's here. He's still here.
Back.
He's still here. Don't you worry about that.
He's not going to bottle it.
Nah.
He's not going to bottle it.
Mixed the Box Office never bottles it, apart from when he calls us out in shows and then don't come on. But here he is, Mr. Box Office. What are you saying?
Big up, Alex.
Well, okay. Firstly, I'm going to say this very, very calmly. And I'm not saying it calmly because people are saying, "Oh, Mr. Box Office goes mad. Oh, he, at least she's always too much. You don't make sense." No, 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 no. No. This Mr. Box Office has been not saying a lot. He's been very, very quiet. When the Ange fans have been talking talking a lot. Yeah, twerking for the manager so much. Like I'm sitting there saying, "Why don't you just shut up? Actually, shut up." Yeah, and shut up and get on with it. Well, you're getting on with it right now, right? And you're proving everything I said that was wrong. By the way, this is to rebuttal some of the points that was the points of not Danny, the call before, saying that oh yeah, we need to. I think he was talking about Bentancur. I'm surprised now people are still making excuses for this guy Bentancur, who's still a Juventus reject in my opinion, still because he's still acting like a Juventus reject. You know what I mean? There's a reason why. Well, midfield's absolutely bang average.
What
by
did
the
he
way,
say about Bentancur?
what?
What did he say?
Well, no, I think he's Lolo. He said Lolo, didn't he? He said Lolo.
Yeah.
So I think he's referring to Bentancur, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Was
but
he-
what did he say about him? What
Well,
did
he says, "Oh,
include?
well, you know, you're saying that he wasn't that. He's not that bad. Oh, we don't know why he's not that good at the moment. Well, it's quite clear why he's not that good because he's overrated. He's
No,
way
we were saying-
overrated.
We were saying that he's playing in the wrong position for him.
Well, I'm
He's
sorry,
not a
but this
lone
is
six.
supposed to be Juventus, who's won trophies at Juventus, right?
Yeah.
Right?
He is. That's
Proper-
exactly what he's done.
Yeah, he's done that. Yeah, but since then he's done absolutely nothing since he came into Tottenham. He only had 5 minutes. Like you have
Yeah.
5 minutes at the red light district. You know what I mean? And since then he's done nothing.
He's probably.
So
at
I'm
that
sorry.
tonight
And
as
this is
well.
again. I just need to just remind people. He replaced Harry Winks. Harry Winks. That's why people thought he was very good. Look at how quality Harry Winks was. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The same people now are twerking for our youngsters now, giving them interviews and stuff to make them stars when they're not actually stars. Well, when you actually apprentice, by the way, guys, yeah, when you actually apprentice, just a side note on this, just a side note on that. When you apprentice, do you get interviews to make you a star already? That you've actually, you're actually really good at your job at the moment, yeah? When you're not actually learn anything. Yeah, so why are you doing interviews? Why are channels doing interviews with youngsters that we've got at the moment, right? Making them the big stars at the moment, yeah, when they have not done nothing. You know what I mean? Make sense
Who
of
did an
that, what you
interview?
will.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, bro, you know who I'm talking about, bro. You know what I mean? Because that's what's embarrassing at the moment. I don't
Archie
see that
Gray.
from Chelsea. I don't see that from Arsenal. I don't see that from Manchester United, who have got youngsters as well that are coming through, by the way. I don't see that from Man City. Look at some of the Man City players at the moment. Look at the Ipswich striker right now, by the way. That came from Man City, by the way. I don't see interviews for him, by the way. Right? That absolutely rinsed our defence to pieces, by the way.
They
Right,
all
so
do
I
interviews. What are you talking about? Are you referring to the Archie Gray interview for winning the award?
Oh no! I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you'll find it on YouTube. You'll find it on YouTube.
Then what is he talking about?
What are you talking
I'm
about?
confused, Alex, bro.
Bro, you'll find it on YouTube. Don't worry about that. People know.
Who are
It's
you
a
talking
popular
about? Tell us.
No, I'm not gonna say it because I don't do that. That's not my style. But the point is anyway. The thing that's fascinating about this at the moment is again another point that he made as well. Another point as well that he made. He says, and it's my mistake as well because I said this as well. It's my mistake, right? Even though I was right not to back this manager, right? We can't just stick with a manager because we keep on sacking managers, right? We're not doing what Arsenal are doing right now, okay? Because let's look what Arsenal are doing at the moment. Let's look what Arsenal are doing at the moment. Right, it was the big mistake trying to say we should do what Arsenal did with Arteta, right? Because it don't take you 18 months to get your thing up, your philosophy across, or make players better, or coach them better. If you can't do it in 18 months, let alone 12 months, right? Because we saw it with Martin Yole, we saw it with Harry Redknapp, we saw it with Pochettino. We don't want to rinse and repeat that one, don't we? And we even saw it with Antonio Conte and Mourinho. And look at those sides. Yeah? And they got sacked. So why is this guy getting so many excuses? Right? And again, the excuses I got from this from this fan base that are, yeah, and I don't care if I'm keeping them installing Ange lovers because they go in their own echo chambers and talk about it themselves rather than come and debate us. You know what I mean? You know who I'm talking about, Savra and Stelios and all us lot that are ready to debate them all day long to rinse them to pieces. But my point is, yeah, right?
Plenty of
Okay.
Ange lovers that are willing to debate them.
Oh, brother, you know that, brother. Ben, you know. The only one that's got the bottle is Ariane and to be fair, Sim as well, right? Even though he's deluded, but big up to him all day long, every single day. You know what I mean? But the point is, though, yeah. Well, I still love him. I still love him as a person. I love you two to pieces because you appreciate Mr. Box Office. Yeah, you appreciate him. You know what I mean? Even if you don't disagree with me, I still love you guys. You know what I mean? Big up to you. But the point is, though, yeah, is that I mean, when you're seeing what Ange, he's had time with the players as well, right? He had too many games and everything else. So what has changed? What has changed? You know what I mean? The best player at the moment for us at the moment is Jed Spence. And that is really bad at the moment for him because let's be honest here, and I'll still say what I say, he's playing well despite Ange. He ain't doing it because of him.
Yeah.
He ain't doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I wouldn't be surprised.
And I've had that argument with Sim on multiple occasions.
Because, and the thing is though, right, people keep on saying, oh, because we've got injuries and all this and all this. Well, I put the analogy out there, right? If we didn't have injuries under Harry Redknapp, would Gareth Bale be Gareth Bale right now, like we had in the past? No,
we wouldn't.
Right? If we didn't have injuries under Pochettino, we would have Harry Kane at the moment. No, we wouldn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now we've seen what Jed Spence is doing at the moment. It's an opportunity. You know what I mean? So this is an excuse, right? Like we're seeing, they keep on hearing the excuses at the moment. It's pathetic, and that's it, right? Yes, we could get back into the game. And by the way, the person that people call Mr. Negative over here said that we're going to win this game tonight, right? So say that for what you will, by the way. Mr. Negative over here, the Mr. Botsoff in the main event, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment, the Ratings Killer, yeah? Your nightmares, everybody in your chat and everyone's guilty pleasure, yeah, was saying that we were going to win this game, yeah? Well, I was at gym, by the way, as well, by the way. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I wasn't that much of a mug, though, going to gym when people were calling me out saying, why are you going to gym rather than watching the game? No, because I actually value my time, bruv. You know what I mean? Because I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, doing what Coover does. Big up my boy Coover. Yeah, and I always big up my boys at Spurs Kings TV, Ash Matty and Marlon. You know what I mean? I'll give him money soon later on anyway. But the point I'm making is, yeah, right? It's like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by this. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? And then everyone was going over the top about Birdval, right? Right? Yeah, I'm not going to go off on him anymore. But let's be honest here. He needs experience. Look what's happened. And the best one is, and I'm not going to make a big deal. I'm not going to highlight it make it any more than it is because it's sad. Look what's happened to our striker. Look what's happened to our striker. You know what I mean? I forgot his name now. Sorry. No, not Tell. The man Solanke comes on, gets injured straight away after that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's about the 5th or 6th time that has happened to one of our players this season.
And the thing is, though, again, like we keep on making excuses about we don't have Van der Ven and Romero. We keep on look at how much time that they're injured on the treatment table. They're not playing. Look how many times they're not playing. You know what I mean? The percentage for them not playing for us is really big, and you're relying on players that can't get fit most of the time in the season, and that can't be an excuse anymore. You need players that are always going to be fit, but that also goes down to the manager as well. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, this is just it's all on the manager at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, we can talk about the ownership. Yes, we can see about the ownership whatsoever, right? But at the end of the day, and I think you made a good point, Amir. Yeah, don't get used to it though. Right, right. I do think we have got some huge expectations on our team, and really, at the end of the day, we need a coach, which we should have done in the first place, because Andrew was never the right player in the first place, right? And just work like a team to try and build a side and coach the players that we've got and manage to and work to the players of their strengths, and that's it for me. And if we do that, at least we've got something. Yes, players might leave, but I think we'd rather do that than trying to pretend that we are something that we're not, and we're not this big team anymore. We're not.
We're not. We're so
never
far
were.
from it, Alex. We never were, and we're so far from it. The closest we were was under Poch, when we were striving for Champions Leagues and playing some really, really exhilarating football. But apart from that, we're nowhere near, Alex. We're nowhere near. My question to you is, mate, where do we go from here? If I gave you the choice tomorrow, you now are in charge. The professor of truth and entertainment, Mr. Box Office himself, can decide on Angie's future.
Don't forget the ratings killer.
Sorry, the ratings killer as well. What would you do? Would you sack Ange tomorrow in the morning? And who would you bring in? Who's your man? Who can lead us forward in the right direction? Turn this ship around.
I'll take either Marco Silva if he was available, or Areola if he was available. I mean, I think those two are coaches. I mean, I would love to have Eddie Howe, because I think Eddie Howe's a very good coach at the moment. There's others out there, but I'd probably take. I mean, I would even give, even though he's gone to West Ham, I would have given Graham Potter a shout as well. To be honest with you, I just think we just need a coach at the moment that can work with the players that he's got and try and improve players. You know what I mean? So try and work with try and accommodate to the players that he has. You know what I mean? You know,
the way Areola has at Bournemouth, managed to plug in players. I like Areola, but we've got to remember as well, even when he first came to Bournemouth, didn't he lose like his first 10 games or something? Or
he did.
He had a very bad run.
It's true, but he turned it around very quickly after that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I didn't want to be on too long, because I can do this on Mr. Box Office TV, because I'm going to be back. And again, I'm not going to be too. I don't think I've been that angry in that sense today, because let's be honest, I've been more rated quite a while. But like I say, I'm bored of this now. To be honest, it's the same old thing for me. We will get. I'm sure we should get back into this game, because unfortunately for Alkmaar, I don't think they're taking enough chances to punish us enough. You know what I mean? But we're not winning this Europa League. Because if you watch the Champions League yesterday, Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain, you think we're going to be able to cope with that? We can't cope with this.
We're miles off that.
Yeah, but we're not in the Champions League.
And we're not even going to get Champions League players. So, you know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's a no-win thing. You know what I mean? And last thing I need to say as well. I mean, one thing I will say, Tao. I do feel sorry for him, but the problem is, I think we really did overhype this player, didn't we? We really put a lot of pressure on him too soon, and then people keep on saying he's 19 years old. Well, this is the problem, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? I don't think Ange is doing him any favours.
If you're bringing in a player on loan to prove his worth to make a permanent transfer, he needs to perform right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's putting lots of pressure on somebody that is 19 years old.
Position, though. Yeah. Playing in the wrong position, though. He's a winger more than a striker.
I mean, he thinks his best position is striker. So I don't know.
Good luck for you lot. I mean, I was actually having a little think about going to Bournemouth, but where I don't think I can do it anymore. I don't think I can do it. I think I'm wasting my money, to be honest with you, mate. You know what I mean? All I'm going to be doing is seeing you, Ben, and deluded Danny. Big up Danny boy every single time. You know what I mean? I love him anyways. It's good to see him back. It's really good to see him back, by the way. But for me, I that's all I can say, guys.
Save your money for Bilbao, Alex. Save your money for Bilbao.
Bro, I'd rather save it to go to Jamaica, bruv. I really would. I'd rather save it to go to Jamaica or do something, go on holiday, mate. Honestly, I wouldn't be wasting my money. You know what I mean? It's hard times at the moment, bruv. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's go. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'll leave you guys to it, bruv. Yeah, I'm out of here. Take care of yourselves. Yeah.
Good to hear from you, Alex.
Thanks for calling in.
Take care. Yeah.
Speak to you soon,
take
bro.
care.
That was the ratings killer himself, Mr. Box Office.
Calmer than I'd be. Like, I was expecting him to come in fully guns blazing.
Yeah, because he didn't watch the game. He was in the gym. That's
it. That's it, lad. He wasn't watching the game, lad. I'm even more fuming than Mr. Box Office. It's oh god.
This is what it's come to, bro.
Oh,
this is what it's come to. We got another super chat here from Tyler saying, regardless of manager, these players don't show one when it matters. Did they show up with Conte and Mourinho? Nothing will change regardless of manager. It's hard to disagree.
I agree. Culture change is what's needed.
Yeah. Yeah, but look, I think that is all we have for today. Be ready for tomorrow, because Sim and myself will be back in the studio going over what happened today on the pitch and
or what didn't happen on the pitch.
Or what didn't happen on the pitch, more to the point. But I want to thank you all for sticking with us throughout the watch long and all the way to the end of the Instant Match Reaction and fan show. Big up to Amir as well for once again coming in and joining me for the watch long. We'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.
Yeah,